Hey everybody, my name is Peter Gunville. I'm out here in beautiful British Columbia. I'm on, let me get that sun out of that tree out of my face. I'm here on Rights and Title land. You can follow me on YouTube at Rights and Title or on Instagram at Tŝilhqot'in. Right, I'll have the links in my bio. You can also check me out on stuff on Facebook. I'm living off grid with my wife and a couple young children. Got a son named Tŝilhqot'in and a daughter named Kalila. Kalila is just about 3 months old and Tŝilhqot'in is almost 2 years old. We're just trying to live self-sustainable off the land. We're slowly getting there. I've got a chicken house in the background that I'm building, but right now I'm just trying to make some extra Christmas money. Well, make some Christmas money, right? Right, bills and stuff add out up here in the bush, right? We don't really have any other employment right now. I could get work, but then I'd have to travel all over. So there's some craft fairs coming up. So right now that's what I'm doing. I've got a few projects already undergo, right? And by the time the craft fairs come up and around Christmas time, I should start being able to get some money going. So right now, my project right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be milling up some wood here, and the pieces of wood that I have are a little bit too small for in between my supports for the table, and I can't clamp them. It's nice to clamp them with 2 dogs. So you got to have a minimum, probably like a 6 foot, 8 foot long log here, right? I've got some stuff here that's a lot shorter that I want to be using. So we get this up onto that bed, and then we'll secure that onto that bed. I just got to take off a couple Fuck, got hit right in the eyeball. Little piece of sawdust. I guess I should have my my eye protection on. And why I'm choosing this wood here for some of the winter projects is because doesn't, like, if you find some nice poplar out in the bush that's been laying there for a few years, it's well seasoned. And if you find you find lots of it, won't be like fir, spruce, or pine. You won't have any checks in this. If you look at a piece and you see there's no checks on the outside of it, there'll be no checks on the inside. So you've got a piece of wood that's been seasoned, right? So it's not gonna warp when you cut it. It's not gonna split, and it will finish nice. Like, I kind of just did a quick outline on that with just with a planer. But I've got a couple other tools. I'll shape these down. Be making some more paddles. Right, I've got a bowl over there that I'm working on. I've got a nice barrel bowl. It's going to be a medicine bowl. Right now I'm going to do some, well, I'm not too sure what this piece is. Might be some benches I can make out of this. I was cutting everything 1.25 inches. Now I want to start doing some benches and some chairs and stuff like that. I think I have enough pieces right there that I can make paddles with, right? With the longer stuff, I'll make some paddles with. The shorter stuff, some of the stuff over here, I'll make some tables, some benches, some boxes. So I'm going to get going on this. Right now, this thing isn't clamped down because it would be too small to clamp down. So I need to devise a system to clamp that down. I do have a few pieces of scrap wood laying around here. Oh yeah, I'm also a carpenter too. Journeyman carpenter. I've been for quite a few years. I like doing stuff around home. I've been out and about all over the countryside chasing after carpentry jobs ever since I became a carpenter, right? So now it's time to work on a home for myself and for my family. So I'm going to cut a couple stop blocks for either side. I need something so it ain't going to roll. This kind of seems a bit thin or a bit small. You see, the problem with being a carpenter and having a sawmill, especially somebody that's been a little bit, you know, you save all your scraps until the end of the job is done type of guy, just in case you need anything. Well, when you have a sawmill, well, then, you know, like the wife's like, go burn all that scrap. What scrap? No, I'm just kidding. I was actually going to burn today. I was going to burn up a bunch of this stuff, but some of it I can probably still use for a little project. Well, there I go again, because I'm that carpenter that doesn't like to get away with, you know, doesn't want to see wood go to waste. So when you have a sawmill, you have so much tailings and stuff, and if you have a little bit of a artistic imagination with the wood, well then I'm going to put the screw in there. Screw in there. That's to hold that from going any place. I don't think I really have to worry about one in the front, but what I want to do is I want to put a screw on this side here. And this piece of wood, same thing on the other side. When that blade grabs it, it's going to want to go with the blade. It would be good to have to make up a board like this. That's a jig, right? That you can just clamp it, have a little clamp system, maybe something, a long piece of, or something or other, you know, with like a spindle shaft with maybe a big bolt in the middle, and then just put it in between a couple pieces of the wood and notch it for that bolt. Maybe add weld a little wing on it. Then you could slide that piece up and down, kind of like a vise, but a longer vise. And that piece too, you could just make it out of wood, except for that metal threaded rod. You have a threaded rod, a coarse threaded rod with maybe a nut and like a little flare off of it. You can make a little jig to hold small stuff like this in, as well as I would like it maybe a little bit wider. Then I could turn stuff up on edge, and then I could put stuff like this, clamp it down, and then cut it this way. But I'm not quite there yet, right? This is my outdoor shop for the time being. I'm going to fire this baby up. Yeah, she's running pretty smooth. Right. Oh, I hear my kids screaming around. But yeah, I'll just, this is just a demo just to show, show how this works. It's a short bed here, right? And I'm not squaring anything up. I could square it up. I just need some slabs right now, just some mini slabs. So then from there I can use a skill saw or a table saw. Use a skill saw on a straight edge, square one side up. I could flip them over, but I like the live edges, so I'll be using lots of live edges on lots of my furniture projects. I just turned the water on. See, take a look at that grain. This has been seasoned for a few years, laying on the ground. There's no checks in there. That's solid too, and it's dry. Well, most of the moisture content's all gone out of it, right? There may be a little bit left in there, but when you're doing a whole bunch of projects, all of this stuff is you can have it used, right? And what you don't use after a while, we'll just buck it up and throw it in the fire. I've got a gauge along the side of my saw, and every time I turn that handle, I've got a little line and it says 1 inch, 2 inch, or 1 inch increments. So I set it on the 1 inch, so it actually sets the blade at 1 1/8, right? Allow for the saw curve, but it'll cut me perfect. It'll cut me perfect boards as I set that on each notch, right? So I'm going to come down to the next one here. Alright, frickin' send it! No, just kidding. Okay, so that takes care of that one. Right, we'll just... Yeah, I changed the bit over in this one. This one is not as bad as the last one. Plus I got some new screws too. The other screws, when I was trying to take the last one apart, were quite stripped out, right? Just from using them so many times. They're a little bit warped and bent and twisted. That should be a Christmas game, right? You know how they've got where you can hammer in a nail? Especially people that don't use a screw gun. Like screwing 10 screws in a row without, or even one screw in a row if they're not used to it, without missing a beat, right? I don't know how you could incorporate that into some type of party game, but you might be able to do it. Okay. Okay, see these slabs here? Out of all of these, this was the end. This was the end. There's a little bit of checking on this one that goes in about 4 inches, but other than that, these things are all nice tight grained. There's a tiny little bit of moisture content I can see in them. Not much, like the pieces that I left outside here, and it even snowed a skiff on top of and dried up. Their moisture content is less than this. Just sitting outside air drying. They don't, like I said, they don't need much air drying. And like when you go to like see how that like you can carve in there and it leaves a nice finish already, right? You can probably even scrape this stuff, right, for a nice finish. So it won't take much sanding this stuff down after we do some making some boxes or some benches or stuff, right? So, but if I'm gonna do bench tops, it'll be probably 2 inches, and then everything else like the legs and stuff can be 1 inch. But I think that's a wrap. That's how you use like smaller pieces of wood, and then again you can also put a piece of wood. Like say if you had a big burl or something, you could put that down and you could take slabs off of it. Just strap something down across a couple of your supports there, lock it down with your dog, then put your material on top of that, and then cut it. All right, that's a wrap for that. I got a whole bunch more to do, but it's just going to be very repetitive on the same things that I'm doing. So, all right.